This is not saving your cause. Please move your bike. Please move your bike. Please move your bike. I have kids I need to pick up. Please, sir. I have kids I need to pick up. You guys are blocking me. I have kids I need to pick up, and we need to get them. My car's 3 back, 4 back. This is funny. This is a fucking
Okay, I want to give a shout out to Phil from The Advice Show. If you want more details on the story, you go to his channel, The Advice Show TV. So this story came out of Florida, and first of all, let me be fair. These teenagers, it seems they were on the highway riding their bikes and all that stuff. I totally disagree with that 1000%, because I know what it's like to have road rage. I know what it's like to be late somewhere and I'm trying to get somewhere. People are driving either slow or crossing the street slow and looking at you. This happens in New Jersey too. But something particular about Florida, people there are just blatantly dumb or just ignorant. I don't know what it is. And it was very rude for those kids to do that. But that white woman, she worked for a real estate company, and that's owned by a white guy and all that stuff. And people have been blasting her. I don't remember the name of the company, but you could go to The Advice Show, and he'll by Philip Scott. So I got the video from. Shout out to him, and he will tell you where the real estate company is she works for. But this is just my opinion on it. She did not have to get out of her car to handle the situation like that. She didn't know if any of those kids had something on them, if they would do something to her and all that stuff, even in broad daylight. You know, this is Florida at all. If you listen to the Breakfast Club, you know with the crazy antics that some of them pull. So all she had to do was stay in her car, call the cops. Unfortunately, which I don't like, but if it's a situation that you do have to call the cops, you should call the cops. Don't just call the cops just because you see some black people sitting there. But if you're being annoyed, call the cops. The police officers have sirens. They could clear through that whole highway. People would literally have to move out their way, or they'll probably just walk on foot and go handle the situation while their cruiser is in the back. Now, this guy, I think Mark Buffett or something like that, he's completely got out of the car. I don't know if he was with her or not. I can't remember. But he just got out of the car, pulled out a gun and all that stuff. He said, what the and remind you, this lady was calling them thugs. And remember, thugs was basically the new N-word. They were basically starting to use thug after the whole Trayvon Martin incident. Until somebody called them out and they stopped using it on national TV, on the news broadcast. He started using thugs, and then, the white guy had his pistol. Because like I told you before, they would not step into any young teenage black men or black men at all if they do not have an equalizer. Now, a black woman, he wouldn't have did the pistol, and he would have just went to them straight up. So he pulled out the pistol and all that stuff. He started calling them effing N-words and all that stuff, And if this was her husband, I would understand why he'd do it. But again, the racial slander wasn't necessary to prove how racist he was. Now, the case was he was arrested for brandishing a secure. I don't think he had a license for his gun and all that stuff. Even though Florida has a stand your ground law, and I'm pretty sure he could have had the thing, but he was arrested and he was also let go. He wasn't charged. But the moral to the story is, Do not agitate people and all that stuff. I don't know why those young black teenagers was on the highway with their bicycles, but you know, something could have happened for them, and then there would have been more hashtags, and then, you know, more funerals and mothers crying out. But your child should not be on the highway intersecting and blocking traffic. That's just my fair opinion on this, and it was not necessary for her to get out her car and him to pull out a gun and start using racial slurs. That's just my assimilation of the situation. My my perspective on the thing. And but you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe. I'm glad that nobody got hurt. Nobody, no hashtag, especially in the state of Florida, because that's where the whole Trayvon Martin thing started. And after that, it just seems been bodies after bodies. Mike Brown, you know, Philando Castile, Rakia Boy, Sandra Bland. It just all over the U.S. It's just black people started dying in number of rates. And then Black Lives Matter started. But anyway, I'm rambling on. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe, share the video. I'll talk to you next time.